Good morning, friends. Let's start the day with a cup of good coffee. I think I have a good coffee right here. I purchased a new one, and it's so mild taste. I don't find it bitter or strong at all, which some of you know I don't drink strong coffee. I dilute it with water, half water at least, to make it drinkable. But anyway, what we don't need to dilute is the Word of God. And this morning my eyes were caught on, while I was reading the 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 18, where it says, "Let no man deceive himself." It's worth already stopping, right? That we can deceive ourselves. Come to believe that we are doing fine or we are going on a right path, that our way is the best way, all of these things where we deceive ourselves. Sometimes people deceive themselves in relationships. They think, men especially, they think that we're doing good. She's not screaming into my face. Yeah, I hear some hints every now and then, but those must not mean that something serious is going on. So, but, we can be deceived. Things can be much worse. I remember when I first started to drive, I didn't know nothing about cars. And somebody gave a car for me to use, and that wasn't a new car. As a matter of fact, my first car was a Zhiguli Lada, Russian car, a yellow one. It was like a long body. Anyway, nice car. I enjoyed it. Manual, of course, and no comfort whatsoever. But it drove, which was good. And I remember some things broke down every now and then. And there was a guy in my church who was able to fix cars, and I asked him, how come so suddenly? I thought I would start hearing some noise, and maybe after a month something could break down, but so sudden, no precaution, no warning sign before. And he said, yeah, with cars, it's always suddenly. And I've learned in life, most all things happen suddenly. But when you're wise enough to pay attention, you see these preceding signs telling you that, things are not good. Pain is not your enemy. Pain reveals your enemy. So I think Dr. Mike Murdoch says that. I like that statement, because we sometimes rebuke the pain, but pain only shows to you that there's a disorder in that area. Maybe tooth, maybe a joint, maybe back. It's not the pain itself that's an enemy or a thing to deal with. It's what it reveals of. So you got to dig out what's going on there. And sometimes out of relationships, some aching signals come. And of course, sometimes we tend to ignore them, especially as men. And it's not that men just don't care. I think they're just built up differently. They don't understand, and we need to learn. And that's where we are. So don't let yourself to be deceived, says the Word of God. And if it wasn't there, we would not need to pay that much attention on it, but it is there. So it's a real danger in life to get deceived, making wrong decisions at the time, feeling right about it. Later finding out, man, I did a wrong decision altogether. How could? Because at the time I felt perfect. I felt that was the right thing to do. I've done that in many areas, and I remember I sold my house, and then later I began to feel regrets, and I found myself in an apartment, and I really began to have some depressing thoughts. And of course, God turned this around, but I learned, I did this decision a little bit prematurely. Anyway, life teaches us and God teaches us if you're willing to listen. Now, let no man deceive himself. And this is where I want to come. If any man among you, that means among the church of Corinthians, right? Christians, seemeth, King James, seems to be wise in this world. Let him become a fool, that he may be wise. So, here's the key, how to become a wise man, wise woman. The first key to becoming wise is not to see yourself as wise. You cannot teach to a man something he thinks he already knows. So you cannot add value in that way because there is no reception. And Lester Summerall said, never give to people what we're not willing or ready to receive, because you're going to just waste away this thing. And that includes wisdom. That includes revelation. So often, all of us, most of us, we've received some things, or we worked at it and gotten hold of some things that we were not ready for. And those things brought us to ruin instead of blessing our lives. Marriage too early, power too early, too much money too early, blessings too early. It's not blessings at all. So on this road or path of becoming wiser, and that's what we all need. I admit it, I need it. I need wisdom in my life every single day. But the path starts with not seeing yourself wise. If I see myself as a wise man, then I tend to behave and act in accordance with this manner that, I already know it. So I don't need to read this book. I don't need to listen. I don't need to attend the seminar. I don't need you to lecture me. I know this stuff better than you. And sometimes we don't. And the amazing thing is that God can talk to us through almost anybody. And most definitely some failures, some bitter experiences are the means we hear God speak. Hey, listen, I tried to tell you. I tried to make the point. You didn't listen. Well, you thought being wise already, right? And here, see where your wisdom has brought you. So Paul warns us, don't see yourself wise. If you think you're wise in this world, become foolish. Foolish means not foolish like ignorant, but somebody who's eager to learn actually. You may think you know, but expand your mind and open your heart. You can always learn more. And most definitely, Paul says in the book of Ephesians that we would come to know the depth, the height, the width, and the length, height, width, all these measurements of love of God and the love of Christ. He says with the whole family of God. No one man has the monopoly of God's revelation. No one camp knows it all. So I gotta listen to the whole family of God to really fully understand how deep, how big, how great God is. I had an experience like that, but he had an altogether different way God did it for him. Wow. So that all expands my understanding. I become wiser, hopefully make better decisions, hopefully build a better life. So let's not be wise in our own eyes, so we could learn more wisdom and make better decisions, act wisely, and achieve the destiny God has prepared us for.